Hi, I'm Guo Cheng Guang, 12 years old, secondary 1 from NS High School. Right now here, we'll be going on with organic chemistry. In organic chemistry, we're at the classification of organic compounds. So from this part, let's just make a comparison between what we have learned before. So these two that I'm going to use right now here will be alkane and alkene. So beware of these two. One is alkane, the other is alkene. So these will be the two that we'll have for this time. So right now for this alkane and alkene, let's take a look at their first difference. So from alkene and alkene, the first difference will be alkane is saturated. Or you can say it is a saturated hydrocarbon. Well, for alkene, you can say that it is unsaturated hydrocarbon. Well, how is it called? Hydrocarbon. Well, if you have realized about that alkane, let's just say methane, you have carbon and you also have hydrogen. So that's how you can call it a hydrocarbon. Now, well, for alkene, let's just say, for example, ethene. For example, this part. You still have carbon, you have hydrogen. So that's how you can call both of these hydrocarbons. So that is the first difference. Well, since I've already drawn these two parts out, you can actually find, but if you want some more, I can draw one more for alkene. Like this. You have realized about their bonds. This alkane in this part, you have only single covalent bonds. Beware, you only have single bonds. Well, for alkene, you have this part. Well, for that part is a double bond. So you have, well, there may be more double bonds. So you can say as at least one double bond. So beware, this is at least one for this part. And this is only single bonds. Alright. So that is some of the differences here. So the next parts that I'm going to have, let's look at a pattern that follows about these. How many carbons? 1. Hydrogens? 4. This is CH4. For here, you have C2H6. So C and H4, C2 and H6. So for this part, the chemical formula in this part will be C, or you can just take it as CN. Well, H2N, then you add 2. Well, N, this part, it can be 1, 2, 3, and so on. Then for alkene, at this part, here you have C2H4. Well, actually 2 and 4, you can already find something in common between them. So you can just write it like this, CnH2n. But this time for N, you only have starting from 2 onwards. Here you can start from N. So for this part, then we'll be going on to the next. So here, let's take a look. We already have three differences, either saturated or unsaturated, only single bonds, or at least one double bond. And this part is their chemical formula. In the next part, let's take a look at the carbons that they have. So here, 1 carbon, 4 hydrogens, 2 carbons, 6 hydrogens. So how about this part? Here it is 1/3 of them is already carbon. Here it's only 1/5, and here is only 1/4. So what you can say about them is that in alkane, there is a less carbon percentage, or a lower carbon percentage, or a lower percentage of carbon. Wait, let me just. Then for alkene, you can say as a higher percentage of carbon, well, if you want to add on in the molecule. So you can be comparing that at the same time. Or another comparison will be if you have like done experiments about them, or if you have watched experiments about them. For this part, I'm just going to give one example, like alkane. Alkane for these parts. Let's say, what if you put them together with a chemical like bromine water? Well, bromine water, especially if you're trying to experiment with them. Bromine water, they are toxic, they are corrosive at the same time. And they're like reddish brown, or you may describe them as an orange color. So you have to be aware when handling bromine water. If you have done it, alkane for this part, when you put alkane with this bromine water, this alkane, there will be no reaction. With bromine water. Then for the next part, alkene, if you have put these alkenes with bromine water, well, let's just how it is with bromine, you may realize a change. Well, this change is that this well, you say as so you can say as this reddish brown color, well, you can say of this bromine water. This color, it is already, so this part is decolorized. So that means the color is just like gone. Well, how is that possible in this part? So let's just say we have this double bond over here. Let's just take it as, for example, we use this ethene. So what happens next will be this double bond, one of these will break. This 4 hydrogen is still here as normal. Then these two parts, they'll get extra bromine. So this process, when bromine takes over it, you can call it bromination, or how you pronounce it, bromination, bromination. So there are different pronunciations of that. Well, for this part, not only bromine water, you can experiment with it. There are also other types. So that's one possible chemical reaction of it. Another reaction is when you put it with, so here, KMnO4. Well, this part, K, potassium, Mn, manganese, O4, well, that's for oxygen. So this part you pronounce it as, or you say it as, potassium permanganate. So that is the name to this compound that you have here, potassium permanganate. So for this part that you have, it is of a purple coloration. So it's a purple color. If you put it with alkene, well, nothing will happen. So it's still no reaction. But if you put it with alkene, the reaction will become that the purple color of this potassium permanganate, it will be gone. But this kind we will not study right now here. We might study in future lessons. Alright. Then after that, we also have different type of other reactions. For example, with alkane, most of the time this reaction is substitution reactions. So that is one part that I'm going to write down here. So this part for alkane, it is mostly substitution reactions. While for alkene in this part, it will become mostly addition reactions. Wait, this part I don't need to capitalize it. Okay, so that's the difference here. So from this part, alkene and alkyne, I'm just going to say the differences until here. So in all, first few parts, these parts is about the chemical structures. Or some chemical structures of alkene, and here is an example of this is alkane, this is alkene. So then after that, from this part onwards, it will be about some reaction between alkane and alkene. So like different reaction with different compounds. And for alkene, here is one example of the reaction. So just, for example, this alkene, then you just give it Br. Well, if you want to know what it looks like, this bromine, well, it just looks like this. So that's the bromine that we are adding in this case. So then it becomes into this kind of compound. So right now here, I'm just going to end this lesson here. So if you like our videos, don't forget to subscribe to our channel. We'll see you in the next lesson. And thank you for your watching.